Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my video blog. Ending a little radio silence for the last 3 weeks or more. I'm not even sure what the last update was, but it is now March 3rd. So time has flown by and a lot has happened. So I'll do my best to be succinct and make sure that everybody's kept up to date on what's been happening, people out there. I think the most important thing is to say that I've been back and forth to Missoula. Successful trip, very successful, unbelievable. I'm still in awe a little bit, and probably a little bit, just spinning a little bit, reeling maybe is the proper word for it. So it was a week-long trip. I left on Saturday. It was a Friday the 15th, and I got back on the 23rd of February. So saw lots of people. Had a fantastic benefit where I saw more people. We started out the week flying in, and I got to go to my house for the first time in probably more than 6 months, and slept in my own bed. So my sister Laura and her husband Ryan were there, and then James and Dave and their kids, and Dave's wife Beth and Mike Fund, and kind of my real homies, and they were there, and we had pizza that Friday night. So hanging out at the house, it felt really good. Miss it, but it's definitely a little different too. It wasn't as bad as I probably had built it all up in my mind. I think there was a lot of emotions that were running through me before I left, and ended up things were actually pretty happy and pretty good when I got there. So a good surprise from my standpoint too. It was very fun hanging out. Saturday we went up to Snow Bowl. There'll be a video here in a minute of how they got me to Snow Bowl. It was kind of a ski wheelchair sled, and you just have to see this next bit, the video that I'm posting here. So I'll tell you about it in a second.
Yeah! Easy!
Pretty awesome. So as you can see, I've got some very good friends. Brandon, who had flown with me, you will see, you saw in the background picture, I think it stressed him out a little bit. Just a little though. He's okay. But I'm very grateful for Brandon, because Brandon flew me to Missoula from Denver on Friday. So he came here and spent the night Thursday night. We got up and got going, got packed, and hopped into his little Honda Jeep, and we went to the airport, and we were there early and had plenty of time, and then they delayed our flight, so we were like, well, let's have one more beer and just wait. We had plenty of time to get to the airport, or to the gate yet, and still be first, and then half hour later they told us that our flight was back on time, so now we're late. So we had to run through the airport and be the last ones on the airplane versus the first, and then they weren't ready for me with the aisle chair, and the transfer went about as bad as it could go, but without actually getting hurt. So grateful that it ended up okay, but that definitely is, flying is a challenge. It was a small airplane. I learned a lot that way, and that you want to make sure you fly on a big airplane and make sure that you're advocating for yourself well in advance too. Even though I thought we did, they weren't prepared. But things you learn. So yeah, Brandon kind of was my caretaker as we got to Missoula, and like I said, he still was stressed out until I was back in the car safely on the way back to my house that night, Saturday night. So Snow Bowl was awesome. Saw a lot of people. Again, thank you for everybody that I saw. Thank you for the warm welcome, and for Dave and Mike and James and Brandon and Ryan and Laura. Mike Fund for pulling me up the hill, getting me back up there. That was someplace I really wanted to go to see, and it was, it was tough and it was good in a lot of ways, but it was sunny and nice. I got to sit on the deck, just soaking it all up. So again, thanks to the great community. And yeah, and then just Sunday, Rattlesnake Market and Cafe. Got to see the new expansion. Hadn't seen it open yet. Barrett and Karen, thank you so much again for breakfast. They serve beer and wine in the morning, so James and Brandon were really happy about that. We got to have a beer with breakfast, and I got to pour a beer for the first time. They let me, I would joked about it, being able to help them out with a little bit of, getting settled in and logistics and stuff. So I was like, well, at least I can volunteer and I can pour beers or pour a glass of wine for them. But still could, but I think that there might be some casualties in the glassware front. But maybe we can get some plastic or some stainless steel, and that would help when I get back to do that. But yeah, there's a picture. You'll see me pouring beer here. I'm just gonna slap that in there right now so you guys can see what the Rattlesnake Cafe expansion looks like too, and our little breakfast with Barrett and Karen. This is gonna be a tough one. We're gonna do this. We're gonna which one should we pour? Who's gonna drink it? What was Brandon drinking? He was drinking
the cream ale. Nice.
Oh, sweet. Brandon, we got you something.
Oh, is that for me?
Yeah. We just poured a beer for you.
All right. I can handle that. Yeah, pretty awesome. So again, that's my neighborhood. I got to see Michelle and Beckett in my neighborhood. I got to see Chris and Elizabeth. I got to see my neighbor Mark. I got to see Jack and Kathy. I got to see my neighbor Frank. It was pretty awesome. I got a great neighborhood. I've been taking care of my house, shoveling along with James, and just kind of keeping it up. So thank you for that. And looking at not sure what to do at the house. It was kind of a bittersweet thing because I could get in, and was inside. Once I was in there, I could go from the kitchen to the bedroom to the living room, but the bathroom door was too narrow for my chair, and it is very inaccessible, so was not able to stay for the week. So I stayed with Mike Fun because he's got a nice big bathroom. It just worked out really good, all on the main level there too. So thank you, Mike and Jenny, for helping me with that. And thanks to Ryan and Laura too for a huge help getting me back there. I was really nervous about it, but it was good. They really helped me, kind of get settled in and take care of my bath program and my morning routine and taking care of me at night. I got a cold in the middle of it all, so we were up coughing, and that's a challenge for me. I had to cough. My cough is not very strong because my abs don't work anymore, and it's one of those things when you don't realize how much that contributes to your voice and to your coughing or yelling or anything when you don't use your abs as well as you, or at all, so it's all diaphragm. So I was trying to cough up a lot of mucus, and sometimes at night it would be, kind of a long fit of coughing with no productivity, and kind of scary sometimes, but, got through it. So my first cold since the actual injury too. Yeah, but let's see, where were we next? Monday, I got to see the doctor, my surgeon, Dr. Beck. He, of course, thought everything looked great, which is good news, and I don't have anything to ask or to question about that either, so it's been good. I got to go to the ICU. I saw a few of the people who were there to help me those first couple days. I got to see my occupational therapist, Jessica Giuliani, and got to see her at work again, and saw a bunch of her during the trip, and very thankful for her, as I'll get to in a minute. But then some of the nurses, some of the nurse practitioners, a bunch of people, my social worker, they were all there. So really cool. Got to see that ICU looks a lot different from this position than from on my back in a bed. So again, it was something I'd wanted to do. I thought it was really great. Sorry there wasn't more of you there if you're watching. Again, I appreciate what you guys did for me that first week. Getting me well on my way, you know, healthy, and I was able, you know, I didn't have any issues when I got to Craig. You know, everybody was always amazed that I got there in 7 days, and I was like, I'm guessing I could have been there sooner if it wasn't a weekend. So, again, thank you so much for that. A great trip and a good visit. And then to Tuesday, was kind of a long day of resting, trying to prepare myself for a lot of talking. I had lost my voice already at Snowball, and I knew I'd be having a hard time talking over the noise. Again, my voice isn't very strong. There's a lot of really working my vocal cords. And then the cold on top of it, so it was like, oh, and it was cold outside, and I had a cold. But, yeah, just a little glimpse into what that was. A huge success in my mind. Even if 10 people would have showed up, it would have been a huge success. But blew my expectations away, blew away John and guys at Western Cider's expectations. That was awesome. So you can see, here's a quick snapshot of the Western Cider tap room before it got really busy. So this was just kind of like how it was, but there was times where it was busier. So check that out. Yeah, and then as you can see, all those people were buying raffle tickets, were buying cider on my behalf. There was a silent auction where people had donated a lot of time and jewelry or pottery, or I had Snowball lift tickets given on my behalf. And thank you to everybody. Black Coffee Roasting, Number 8 Wire, of course, Colin Kornberg. A beautiful motorcycle. It was hard for me to see that thing go because that's as good as that motorcycle's looked in its whole life, in my opinion. Having spent a lot of time next to the guy who owned it, John Wagner, thank you again for donating Lola. Let alone didn't know that was going to turn into a donation like that, but a huge fundraiser and a huge success. I think we sold 350 tickets for that, and then plus the winner. We called them, and here's what happened when we called them.
Okay, everybody. Jeremy Leibenguth is in the audience. This is the lucky man that just won the motorcycle right here. But he is a very gracious man and a very giving man, and he wants to auction this off tonight in order to raise some more money to help Michael buy an amazing accessible van. But we're not starting at $50. We're starting at $2,000. And so, do we have anybody at $2,000? $2,000 right here. All right, Casey, $2,000. All right. I'm not an auctioneer, but I play one on TV, so here we go. $2,000. Do I have $2,200? $2,200 in the crowd. $2,200.
Right here.
Right here. $2,200. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna go up in increments of 2. $2,400. Do we have $2,400? $2,400. Anybody in the audience? Casey, you think about $2,400 right here. All right. It's a pretty sweet motorcycle. I don't know if any of you taken a look, but it's a 2000 Sportster. You know, it would look good for any of us, ladies included. So don't hold yourself back, ladies. We're at $2,400. Do I have $2,600? $2,600 right here. All right. I'm at $2,600. $2,800 going. $2,800. $2,800. Yes, I like this. This is fun. All right, $2,800, guys. How about $3,000? $3,000. We're at $3,000. All right, let's keep going. Do I have $3,200 in the audience? $3,200. It's a sweet motorcycle. $3,200. The man in the blue jacket. Ooh, it might be the war off of the blue jackets. We're at $3,200. Up to $3,400. Anybody willing to give $3,400 for this beautiful motorcycle? It's worth a hell of a lot more than that. $3,400! Yes! All right, we're at $3,400 going up to $3,600. $3,600 for a really gorgeous motorcycle to Casey. All right, I like this. I'll just keep talking so you guys can think about it a little bit. Check your online bank account. Most of us have credit cards that go that high. We'll figure this out. We'll run it through the website. Tax deductible donation, right? Right? We can do that. Okay, all right, we're at $3,600. We're gonna go up to $3,800. Do I have my math right? 38? All right, $3,800. Anybody thinking about 38? All right, $3,800. We're up. $3,800. Do I have $4,000 for this motorcycle? It's pretty, yeah! All right, $4,000, you guys. I want to let you know that with that, we have already exceeded our $10,000 match. So that guy that said he was going to bring $10,000, we're there tonight. Yes, wow. Excellent work. This is incredible. All right, $4,000 up to $4,200. $4,200 for a beautiful 2000 Sportster. Yes. Woo. Okay, $4,200. Okay, so that, did I just say $4,200? It's $4,400. $4,400, guys. $4,400 for a 2000 Sportster. Beautiful bike. Beautiful bike. Colin did a great job on it. Worth more weight, you know, worth more than that. There was no doubt. There's no doubt. $4,400. $4,400 going once. Whoa! Tennille from the corner. Wow. All right, that's love. $4,400. Thank you, Tennille. That's awesome. Okay, $4,400 is on the table, folks. She'd look pretty good on that motorcycle, by the way. She can handle that. We're up to $4,600. $4,600 for this 2000 Sportster. What do you think? What do you think? $4,600? $4,600. $4,600 going once. $4,600 going twice. $4,600?
Wait, was the last one was me?
Yeah, it was you. She really wants it. She really wants it. I like it. All right, but that's okay. We won't hold you to that. We get it. $4,600 going once. $4,600 going twice. Last chance. I'll say it real slow. All right, $4,600 and $4,400 going to Tennille Rutherford. Nice work, Tennille. Really incredible. Really incredible. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Want to say another thank you to everybody in this audience right here. Jerome, thank you so much. Wait, what did I just call him, Jerome? Jeremy, you know, I like a Jerome. Thank you. This man, somebody buy this man a cider. I mean, he deserves quite a bit. That was extremely generous. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming back down. You guys are incredible.
Jeremy Leibenguth, who I've never met before, is a friend of or is a brother of a friend's fiance. Like I said, never met. Called him up, and he was willing to auction the bike off on the spot because there was other people there that wanted to buy it, and the proceeds all went right back to me again. So Jeremy, thank you. Was not necessary. I knew you would have loved that motorcycle, but I've got other motorcycles that I would love to see you riding someday, so they will be up for sale here this spring, and I will call you and make sure that you get a shot at that, because that was really awesome. And then, yeah, auctioning it off, went to a live auction, and at that moment, people started to bid for the motorcycle, and the bidding went back and forth up to about $4,200, and then, which was, again, I thought we'd get like 1,000, just, you know, people have money floating around to buy motorcycles. And it went to $4,400 out of kind of the back corner of the tap room. Tennille put up a bid for $4,400 and won the motorcycle. So Tennille is my ex-girlfriend, who we have a storied past, of course, but the story continues, I guess. So thank you. It was the gratitude, and at that moment, I was absolutely speechless. So, as if it doesn't take much, but it really was a really cool thing and a really important moment, and all of that kind of comes to a head right now. So, again, you can see that, and then there's some pictures here right now of Tennille on her new motorcycle. Again, thank you, Colin. Thank you, John from Western Cider. Tennille, we had an anonymous donor put up $10,000, a match dollars. So for every dollar spent that he matched, she matched a dollar, $4 up to $10,000, and we reached that. So a huge, out of nowhere donation. Thank you to that person. Yeah, again, so surprised and so much gratitude. I don't know how I'll ever repay all of you, and I hope I get the opportunity, and will do my best. And as I say, keep going forward with this. But again, just a huge success. Hundreds of people showed up. I didn't realize I had that many friends, or knew that many people for that matter, in one community, but Missoula shows up in spades when it needs to. So it's a town where people don't make a lot of money, but man, they still can dig deep into their pockets at times like this. And it's not necessary, but man, it is appreciated in a lot of ways. And I know I'll get the chance to repay the community very soon. So again, thank you to Missoula for that. The rest of the trip went pretty good. I was pretty wiped out at that point. I just kind of sleep wasn't great, just being in a foreign space, having the cold and being sick and stuff like that. But I got through it. Went to the dentist's office. Dr. Althauser, you're the man. Thank you for squeezing me in. And then got to check out New Motions. New Motions, my wheelchair provider, who we'll get to in a second. But drawing a blank. New Directions. It's a spinal cord injury, kind of brain injury clinic that they have at the University of Montana. Molly Blair, thank you for taking the time and showing me around. Very cool. A good little rehab facility with some good PT that I didn't know existed, and obviously why would I need to? So got to meet a little bit of the community of people, in wheelchairs and spinal cord injuries, and just part of that rehab. So it's good for me because it'll give me the opportunity to have a gym when I come back to Missoula, a place where I can work out and can maintain strength and get a little bit of help, and then have that community. I think that's really huge. So yeah, New Directions, check it out if you have the chance. A great PT school too. I actually have one of the volunteers at Craig who has applied at PT school and got waitlisted in Missoula. So her and I were talking about that last night. So it's obviously a very good program. And I know a few people, Carissa Benjamin, who has graduated from there, and again been a good friend of mine in the hockey rink and was helpful in setting that up. So thank you, Carissa. Yeah, Thursday I got to go see CM Manufacturing and their new CNC machine. Awesome work. You guys like to see the progress of what's going on. You guys are busy as hell. I look forward to helping you out in the future. Been a great client. Ken Johnson, great friend of mine. Been very helpful in this whole process too. So thank you for the opportunity, of course, as well, and that for taking the time on Thursday. It was really great to see you, Amy, Ken, Vitaly, Gene, Sandy, Travis, the whole crew there. So I know I'm forgetting people, but the list goes on. So one of my favorite places to work for the last couple of years, so thank you. And keep up the good work. It's looking really good. I'm really excited to see the future as CM grows now too. So that's exciting for a lot of reasons too. So yeah, and then Friday was kind of packing up day, and my birthday. Turned 39. So yeah, I was pretty wiped out at that point, but we got to have kind of a final little send-off. went and had a birthday happy hour at the Iron Grizz. Another new place to me, but man, like again, a little happy hour where 30 people show up because everybody wants to see you. You know, as taxing as it might be, it's like it's hard to deny the love. It's hard to, you know, not see people who love you so much. So again, thank you, everybody I saw in Missoula, for making it a great trip. My allergies are terrible today, but it's good. It was a really good trip. So winter's gonna be tough in Missoula. There's no denying that. And right now it just gets so cold and it's hard to get dressed into multiple layers. And roads are terrible. Sidewalks don't exist. People don't shovel, plow. So those are tough things for a person in a wheelchair, as I'm finding out. So it's not out of the question to become a snowbird. You know, it's like the goal has always been to get back to Missoula in some way, shape, or form. And I think that's possible. It's a great place. Oh, and I forgot to mention the hockey community. Thank you for coming out in spades too. And I got to see my old team play on Thursday night. Stayed up till 11 watching hockey. I was bundled up in 2 puffy coats and a sleeping bag just to stay warm in that rink. But we did it. Got to sit on the bench. With the old team. So it was awesome. They played to a 2-2 tie with Phillipsburg, another team full of a lot of my friends. So awesome, really great. Thanks you guys. Peter Dober, Gygas, Patrick, Kevin, the other Peter who I just met, Brad Jones, Lee Coyle, Colin Stoner. You guys are awesome. Thanks. Miss it, but it was a good time. Awesome to see you. Yeah, and then the flight home. Wow, craziness. You know, it was like Jessica Giuliani flew back with me, which was awesome. I really appreciate taking the time, helping me get through the airport and get back to Denver safely. And thanks for just being a pal and being there with me. It's been awesome. Yeah, the loading in Missoula was as rocky as it was loading in Denver. I was kind of prepared for it. Like I say, everything went well enough. I'm safe, I'm healthy. I didn't get any dings and bruises, didn't fall, things like that. So just learning a lot through this process, as little airplanes are really challenging. We got back to Denver and the sun was shining again after a snowstorm, and it was some nice weather the last week. And I've just been trying to get back into my routine, you know, of my therapies and going to the gym and trying to maintain strength and or get stronger in that way and get more coordination. So it's been going really well. I think that, you know, after my Missoula trip, you know, I had a lot of rest, which was really good, and I got really good at transferring. I had a lot of car transfers. You'll see there's a video here. This is my favorite one. Me transferring into the Subaru, and where Mike had made a special parking spot for me to transfer.
Yeah.
Is that it? Actually, go underneath my butt cheek. There you go. Leg. Now that we got a video camera rolling, I'm gonna do a terrible job and probably fall on my head.
No pressure.
Yeah, don't do that.
We can call the neighbors if you want.
You want help with your foot? Yeah. There you go. Other one too.
Your burrito's done.
Oh, did you not do them in the microwave?
Nope.
You want-
I'm on it. Alright. Wedged.
Kind of are wedged.
What am I hitting, Mike?
You're in your backrest.
On the what? My backrest?
Yeah. On the edge of it.
Here we go. There.
It's alright. I'm not sure when to intervene.
Oh yeah, I can't feel right now. Your feet are on. All right. Yeah. So that was my life. It was like from the house to the car, from the car to the house, or wherever I was going. Transfer in there, transferring out, transfer into the shower chair, transfer to the bathroom, you know, it's like. But yeah, it was good. I needed the rest. My shoulders needed a little rest. We had really worked hard the week before I left. So, okay, so back to what's been happening here in Denver for me over the last month of time. I moved in here at the apartment, or the Marriott studio, the Town Place Suites. That was on January 31st already. So here we are, it's March 3rd. Been here about a month. It's been good, and it's a bit limiting. So I guess that's probably the big realization, you know, that I've to take away from this, is that it's not the kind of place that I could do any sort of independent living trial or improve any skills. The carpet is a real struggle. It's so funny. It's like soft carpet with some thresholds. I mean, it's just, even people who are really strong, it's super frustrating. Going in and out of the kitchen here, the kitchen is pretty small, and it's not set up adaptively. So for me to be able to do stuff in there, again, it's just gonna take take a lot of patience and a lot of frustration. So there's no low shelves. There's no. I mean, it's easy to get in the fridge maybe, but you know, and I could use the sink. I could use the stove, but again, there's no dishes at my level, and then food stuff, you know, like dry goods. And then the bathroom. It has a roll-in shower and a roll under sink, and I can get to the toilet in my regular chair, but I'm not able to get from the bed to that bathroom shower in my shower commode chair. Just because it's not as easy to wheel, I'm really unstable in it. Then I have to back into the bathroom, back over the toilet, pull forward, back into the shower, get lined up perfectly, and there's a lot of back and forth, and there's a little bump in there. It's really challenging. So kind of going backwards from the Craig apartments to here, it's just small. So Dad and I are making it work. There's a hide-a-bed, and I've had brother-in-law Arno here to help out too so far. So everybody that's gotten to experience the hide-a-bed and the bed experience. I mean, the hide-bed's literally at the foot of my bed too. So it's very tight, very limiting. I can't open the door to get out of here by myself because of the carpet, and I can't open the door to get in either because of the carpet in the hallway. So we are actively looking for an apartment right now, and that is because NRN, the Neuro Recovery Network occupational therapy program that I'm involved in, it's a lot of the STIM-focused interventions, they call it. 12 channels of stimulation, electric stim on my muscles that are in need of development and redevelopment. So that program has been going really well. My therapist, Maggie, my last evaluation was middle February, I want to say. It was like the 7th or something like that, or beginning there. And they said I improved in 5 out of the 14 functional areas, which is good. So showing improvement towards goals is what my health insurance is going to like to see in order to keep paying for my occupational therapy and my physical therapy. So that's awesome. Where I've seen the most gains is in my balance, sitting on edge of mat or sitting in my bed, back muscles, obliques, which are your side muscles, and potentially some ab muscles actually starting to fire a little bit. Some more than others, like my back is getting a little stronger, so I've actually got a lot more balance. Sitting and moving around, which has been really huge. You know, it helps my day-to-day function a lot with getting dressed and getting undressed and getting in and out of bed. And, you know, we're still working on rolls and getting my hips over when I'm in bed to try to get dressed, so I can't do that yet. But car transfers and strength in the shoulders is getting better. My left shoulder has been healthy, knock on wood. And then I've been doing a lot of work with my hands and OT2 and like trying to get bedtime routine down. So one of our big goals this month is to try to get the night routine independently. So that means turning myself in bed, getting myself set up and padded with pillows around me so that I'm safe at night and don't have to roll. You know, when I roll, I'm comfortable and I don't get bed sores and things like that. So, I mean, hooking up night bag, getting undressed, taking off socks, which I cannot do yet, taking off night bag, things like that. So those are some things we're working towards in OT. So, and PT for that matter. But, let's see. Dad just got back from the grocery store and looking at apartments. So we've been looking at a lot of apartments over the course of the last week as we're trying to find something that we can stay for the next 3 months, because things are going well enough that they're willing to give me 2 more months of NRN guaranteed, and then possibly a third beyond that if it keeps going as well as it is. So that's where we need to find something a little bit more affordable and friendly, you know, for me to be in. So that's a tall order. It's been tough finding anything with roll-in showers. It seems impossible. Prices are more reasonable, but they're still expensive. Locations are, you know, all over around this area, but you know, some of them are a little bit more accessible as far as I can get through the door and get myself in and out. But the bathrooms they have a tub in a shower, you know, and that's ADA compliant, but it's not wheelchair friendly in my case, like primary wheelchair user. So, yeah, so it's just going through that struggle right now to keep going. So, good news is I can stay. They want me to stay, and things will continue to go well if I stay here. That's probably the best option for therapy, and my caregivers are good here. That's been working out for me really well. And then, but it's where do I stay? You know, and just having trouble staying here. So we'll keep looking. So coming up this week, I've got looking at some more apartments. Dad and I are just looked at a couple more today. Same problem, bathtubs, carpet in the bedroom. I can't roll underneath the sink. And, you know, it's a non-accessible kitchen, but I'm just accepting the kitchen part of it, but the bathroom, yeah, would be a little too much of a strain right now. So I'd be able to roll underneath the sink to wash my hands and shave and brush teeth. Also, you know, going through the process of shopping for a van right now too, which is good. The fundraiser was very successful in that way. Like, I was able to raise enough money where I can get a van. But, you know, they're between $40,000 and $60,000 depending on the spec of the van that I'm looking for, like a full-size Ram ProMaster or Mercedes Sprinter. And, you know, that would have a lift and then hand controls and the 6-way power seat to sit into. So all these things cost a lot of money. Probably all the modifications totaled up are going to be like $15,000 to $20,000. The van's $34,000 to $60,000 kind of is the range. Then I found out today that the ProMaster doesn't have a power sliding door. So then the Sprinter is the more expensive of the two. That's closer to $60 with the accessories that I would need to be able to drive it. Plus it's going to be a custom order, so how long that would take, I don't know. So those are the challenges we're working on right now. Going back to Montana for my driver's license test on March 22nd. That'll probably be a really quick trip back and forth, just to get that done over the weekend. And then I'm borrowing a van, renting a van there basically to use that has hand controls. So, yeah, other than that, got some pictures I was going to share. Went to the Coors Brewery yesterday for a belated birthday with my Craig friends, some of my caregivers there, and then Dad and my friend Gus. And then, you know, that's America's largest brewery, single brewery, so big place and pretty impressive. I mean, the tour was very short and didn't show very much of it, but just kind of shows the brew kettle room, and then they just talk about a few other things, but quality control and ingredients, things like that, but they don't really show us the packaging line. But yeah, to get our 3 free beers, went out for some pizza and called it a night. 7:30, I was pretty exhausted, so feeling it right now, so I think I'm gonna get ready for a nap in a minute, but I did want to make sure I got an update out there. This week's just more of the same, therapy, lifting weights. I'm basically there at Craig now from about 11 till 6 every day, depending, maybe 10:30 on the earlier days, and that way I can lift and stretch and do standing frame and ride the FES bike, as well as, you know, take care of my therapies that I've got. So it's usually about 2.5 to 3.5 hours of therapy per day, plus a couple hours a week for personal training, possibly a pool session, seeing my psychologist once a week, and yeah, other odds and ends that we got to take care of, like catheter change, things like that. So yeah, scuba diving this week. That's a trial scuba diving thing that Craig puts together through the T-Rec department, so I'm going to try that out on Friday, and that should be fun. So anyhow, it was great to see everybody again in Missoula, and appreciate all the help, all the kind words, and I look forward to keeping in touch with everybody going forward. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk real soon.